way. Let's talk about whether or not it's a good idea to hook up before breaking up. An article in Big Think is talking about how it's not unusual for some people to get intimate before completely walking away from a relationship. Some people think that this is therapeutic. Others say it means that you're just prolonging the heartache and making it more difficult to walk away. What do you think? Breakup sex, yes or no?
Yes, definitely. I've done my share.
Woo!
I've
Woo!
I've
With
done too much.
enthusiasm.
I've done way too much breakup sex. And it's good because you go out with a bang, right? And then it can kind of confuse you a little bit.
Literally.
Yes. But I'm all for it. Why not? Just remember the good times.
Okay, but
So
Trey,
sometimes that's
can
yeah.
I poke and prod a little bit? Because like, are you doing it because you know, all right, this is the last hurrah, let's, fine. Or are you doing it with any kind of secret hope that somebody might change their mind about the breakup?
Definitely not. It's the last hurrah. And for me, sometimes great sex is the only thing that held us together. So I'm like, let's go out with a bang. Let's just do this one last time. So I'm good. I hope none of my
Sam?
exes are watching.
I have to
They are.
respect Trey's POV here and the courage of her convictions. I'm very impressed. I think that breakup sex is sometimes a good idea, but I think, we can do whatever we want. You got to be prepared for the fallout because sometimes it just rubber bands you right back into the middle.
Yeah, that's the question because I feel like it probably serves different purposes for either different relationships. Like if you've been in a casual situation and then you're like, you know what, I'm going to break this off. But if you've been in a long-term situation, that could be. And then like, I'm always curious if you think it leaves you stronger afterwards or weaker afterwards.
Yeah, I think that it can be complicated depending on the person. I just want to go to Beverly, who seems to be alluding to that. Beverly said on Facebook, "You can't get over someone if you're under them." Thank you, Beverly. That is
Very wise.
that is succinct and saucy and descriptive. But I would have to disagree with Beverly, at least in my case, because I think that, Beverly's saying that you can't get over someone if you're under them. And for me, in the past, breakup sex has solidified it for me. Like it is the thing that has made me be like, yep, good decision. I'm over it. I'm often disgusted after breakup sex. I am disgusted with myself. Why did you do that? And so it's a confirmation for me anyway that, yeah, you moving on is the right thing.
I think this is a
Okay,
really
it's interesting
smart take.
because
I really
go
agree
ahead,
with
Sam.
this. I think sometimes the breakup sex is the affirmation you needed that it wasn't that bomb to begin with.
Yes,
Very
right?
true, very
And you're
true.
like,
Very true.
there's better sex out there and better person.
Yes.
And then I will
definitely.
say, it depends maybe on if it was casual or long term. And I say that because there was somebody, eons ago that I was just sort of dealing with casually. And then I realized that I was falling in love with somebody else. And I was like, no, I need to end this. And it was like, and that was all that we had. And so, really in one way, it was dangerous to go back for one last hurrah, as you say, Trey, because that kind of was the only tie that bonded us. But then you realize how empty it was when you have found
Yes.
true love and what making love is. Lainey's barfing, what making love is versus like having just sex. So that's kind of what solidified. I know she's like, ugh, making love, but it truly did make a difference in that moment to be like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm done with that. Bye-bye. And that's what that last hurrah did for me in that case.
I think also
you
too,
ever-
and not playing into the stereotypes of women being more emotional, but as someone who's been in a same-sex relationship, I think sometimes too, for me, why I stay away from the breakup sex is because I think as women, two women, sometimes we get too much into the processing of it afterwards. And I don't want to get into the processing. I'm just like, we had a good time.
Yeah.
It's done. Let's call it a day. Right. So, but I find
Right.
sometimes women want to process with me. And I'm like, do we really have to do that today? Right. So I don't want to play into the stereotype, but I do find we talk it out way more as women.
I'm really happy and excited to
Interesting.
announce no man has ever tried to process with me after sex.
Oh no!
Ever.
Oh, God, it sounds like a nightmare the way you're both describing this. Oh, my Lord.